blessed to be with people who not just make the difference but are actually influencing so many more with just their thoughts. My name is Archana Pania. I host a breakfast show on the radio in Mumbai called Kaise Kai Mumbai. और आज मेरे लिए बहुत स्पेशल दिन इसलिए है क्योंकि यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने इंडिया को चुना है एज द कंट्री इन फोकस दिस ईयर फॉर वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे जो 5 जून को होने जा रहा है. उसके लिए द यूएन हेड एरिक सोलहेम इज विद अस. लेट्स क्लैप फॉर हिम जो मुंबई में हो रहा है, जिस काम को लेके अफरोज शाह जिनसे मैं थोड़ी देर में बात करूंगी, उन्होंने बहुत लोगों के दिल को छुआ है और ये काम 136 वीकेंड से करते आ रहे हैं नॉन स्टॉप. आदित्य ठाकरे somebody who's young, dynamic and can't wait to make the bigger change as far as helping us with the plastic ban, because इस बारी का मुद्दा भी वही है, to get rid of plastic, to beat the plastic, and a girl who will remain a girl forever. My God, she is fresh, beautiful, nature-loving, and always fighting for environment. Thank you so much, Diya, for not just being beauty with a purpose, like we keep saying for people like you who won such big, pageants. But it's also that you further the cause, being a part of one of the biggest industries that we have in our country, the film industry. Thank you. And Yuri, who heads it for us right here in India. So we're going to ask you at a macro level how we can make a change. लेकिन वर्सोवा बीच क्लीनअप शायद पूरे देश नहीं, विदेश नहीं, सारे आई थिंक इंसानियत को हिला चुका है. और आज जब रोजे चल रहे, रमजान चल रहा है, इस पाक महीने में भी अफरोज सफाई कर रहे थे सुबह, वो सोए नहीं है 10 रातों से. एंड आई हैव टू आस्क यू अफरोज, व्हाट कीप्स यू मोटिवेटेड बिफोर एनीथिंग एल्स, बिफोर वी टेल देम योर स्टोरी ऑफ हाउ यू बिगन.
यार ओके, जब आप लव करते हैं तो आप ये सब चीजें करते हैं. आई हैव टू डन फॉर योर कंपेनियन. You do that. So when you love your nature, you wish to do all these steps are taken in pursuit of love. You know, as a lawyer, I've seen a lot of laws, policies, regulation. You can keep on arguing till the cow come home. But the issue is love makes you do what goes beyond law, what goes beyond policy, what goes against regulation. Look at Prime Minister Modi. He says, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, clean India. Then you see these thousands of people without thinking about anything, there early morning at 6 o'clock. That's what drives me. Actually, my connect with the ocean, nature had gone for a toss. I'm trying to build it up. And I urge everybody who's around me, please make an effort. You all should build it up.
You know, one of the lovely conversations that I had on Radio City with him in depth, I think the best line he gave me was कि I have a date with the ocean. He says this all the time, I know. But it's also about how he's inspired the kids. जब ये schools में जाते हैं, by the way, 40,000 students on the roster आते रहते हैं और सफाई करते रहते हैं. He said, I had to apologize to them first. आपको बच्चों को क्यों apologize करना?
क्या करते हैं अभी? वो बीच को enjoy करना चाहिए. वो समुद्र को, they should be enjoying the beach and the ocean. And I call them to clean up. So my first line to them is apologies to you, because I should have preserved it. People who are in my age group should have preserved it. But we messed it up with plastic. So I am calling you to come and clean. But the flip side is, at least when they clean up, they are getting more better lover and more aware about what's going on. Why plastic in the ocean should not be there. What as an individual you can do to protect your planet, your nature, your environment. Too much reliance on government policies, regulation has got us to here. Yes, you must have a policy, you must have a law, you must regulate, but you can't let up these individuals who are supposed to be those. It's like a beehive, you know. So if you work disciplinarily towards the law, the obedience to law gets you where you are. And if you are not going to obey the law, what's the point of having law? What you see in Mumbai is exactly that. 25 million, 60% living in human ocean conflict zone, literally every day. What do you tell the law? As I speak to you, I have solid waste management rules, plastic waste management rules, EPR, and you see them, the slum developers, what they're doing. Now you want more stringent law, more coercive law, ask how, what is the level you're going to raise it up? Or are you going to choose to touch their hearts and minds saying that we need a change? This planet is a shambles, we must come forward and change it.
Erik, you obviously saw the magic in this man's work. And is it too much for me to say that you actually chose India because of him and you started your entire movement this year with Warsaw Beach Cleanup?
Absolutely, that's very true, because it was very interesting when I first heard of Afros. Some people said there are some amazing guys in Mumbai really cleaning the beaches. I want to go there and meet them. And then people say, no, you are a politician, you should not go to the beaches in Mumbai, you should go to Delhi, and you should meet with the ministers there. Well, I chose to go here, And after that, I got a lot of gratitude from the ministers of the BJP government in Delhi. They said that was the right thing to do, because you need to link up with the people and then take the movement forward. Mahatma Gandhi, by the way, said that cleanliness is godliness. And God didn't create this planet for us to waste plastic everywhere and make it dirty.
Yeah, I love what you said today early in the morning when we all, were at Warsaw. You said that this movement is happening pretty much similarly around the world. So we're somehow in synergy with what's happening. Can you please throw some light on that?
Yeah, only if you do something which is not really of interest to others, you are alone. When you do something to interest others, and a lot of people are following, and that's what we see now. I can give a few examples. The European Union just made a plastic strategy, how to reduce plastic in Europe. In China, you've seen the Hainan province phasing out one-use plastic, and then of course they will inspire other provinces of China, and China is so huge like India, so we have an amazing impact. And in Africa, nations like Kenya, Eritrea, Rwanda has phased out plastic. I think maybe the most inspiring I heard was the president of Rwanda, small, well, 12 million people, poor nation of Africa, and I asked him, how did you make this trick, and what people, and he said, well, all Rwandans historically kept clean at home, and basically all Rwandans also kept clean in the garden. So we just took that attitude to society, and what people in Rwanda now tell you is that yes, we started with the president, he inspired us, but now it's gone into our blood.
Wow.
Then my neighbors are not throwing anything out in the city, but I won't do it either.
But refusing it when it comes as part of your food, when you're traveling in an airplane or probably at the airport. And airport was something that even Aditya kind of pointed out once I come to him. But our United Nations Goodwill Ambassador, Dia, honest to God, I think the point is to make that change in your everyday life. And that's probably why we're here today, to inspire everybody who's watching us. What is your quick motion plan for that?
Well, I think for me personally, I started seeing plastic everywhere, and it really started to bother me. I was like, what is going on? Why are we seeing so much plastic waste everywhere? When I started seeing it in interiors, in villages, places where electricity had not reached, there was plastic waste. So then you start doing a math in your head, and you think that, actually, because plastic has become such a normal part of our everyday life, we don't really acknowledge how much we consume of it. And I think what I was inspired to do was to start acknowledging and addressing my consumption of plastic. So I said, I can't start my day with a plastic toothbrush. So I replaced it with a bamboo toothbrush. Then I started thinking about all the other items of plastic I could so easily say no to, like plastic bags, plastic straws, plastic cutlery, plates, mugs, cups, plastic bottles, packaged water. So now I carry my own metal bottle. I never allow anybody to give me anything in a plastic bag. And that's really what the theme of World Environment Day is. When we say beat plastic pollution, yes, there is a larger problem, which we will all address collectively as humanity. But I think the great message in this campaign is that you and me can on a daily basis, start saying no, refusing items of plastic that are not reusable.
Okay, I know this sounds a bit like a comical break, but I really want to know. Your husband wouldn't be as sensitive as you. So people around you...
That's me?
I'm too sensitive.
No. But it's an interesting question. It's actually...
Because your partner,
it's an interesting comment.
I have to influence my husband to say, start using the bamboo toothbrush.
No, I agree. Okay, this is great. I love that she's saying this, because the fact is that my husband thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
He does. He says, you are obsessed. And I was like, how can I not be? There is no way.
That's the only way you make change.
Exactly.
This man being obsessed has brought us to tears.
But I have to tell you that, everybody in my team sitting here, they keep telling me this every day. They said, since you started pointing out the plastic, we see it now.
Yeah.
And they've all switched to sustainable alternatives. My team was thirsty today after the beach cleanup. They refused to stop and buy a bottle of packaged water. They waited to get to the area where we were resting to get filtered water directly poured in their bottles. So husbands, family, house help, restaurants, every area that we have a sphere of influence over starts evolving and changing, because knowledge is such a powerful thing. You know, you start telling people human beings buy 1 million bottles of plastic packaged water in a minute. And suddenly people start saying, oh my God, that's a lot of bottles. Where are they going to go? And then you tell them 90% of them are not recycled. And then I think a lot of people will hesitate to, you know, pick up a bottle of packaged water and just drink it mindlessly or thoughtlessly. I think knowledge is a very powerful thing, and I think the World Environment Day Beat Plastic Pollution campaign is giving people that knowledge, and the fact that citizens across the globe, starting with Afroz and so many more, are leading the movement, a revolution to say, I'm not going to be a fence sitter and a finger pointer and blame governments and blame industry and blame civic bodies and blame my, you know, my co-op. I'm going to do something about it. And that's the change that I believe is going to change the future for children. And I think children are also leading that change, because they are saying, my nephews, they're 8 and 9. The other day we went to a restaurant and I was so proud, Yuri, because we ordered a drink and it usually comes with a straw. They stopped the server. They said, please don't give us plastic straws. I was like, yes!
Oh, Pania, like to know, thankfully I don't have to answer this question because I'm on a date with Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either he's a secret admirer or he's very obedient. One of the first conversations about banning plastic was with him. I sat with him for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, actually.
And that's how you broke the rule here.
That's how we started communicating.
No, but Archana, this is very interesting. So here is a husband who, to my face, never tells me,
Yeah.
he secretly, behind my back, he knows that Aditya has influence and he can really mobilize things. And he knew how this was driving me bananas. So he set a quiet date with Aditya, met him on his own. I had nothing to do with it. And they made this plan, which Aditya, of course, will
Has beautiful.
And then we roped her in after that.
It's amazing.
Okay, so Aditya, I have seen this ban trying to be implemented like several times now, and trust me, there were a lot of people who told me, ये ban कैसे होने वाला है, अभी ये नहीं होगा. But this time I saw the route change. What was the difference this time, and how serious are we?
I think the willpower was very important in this, because if you see around India, we are the 18th state to have a ban on single-use disposable plastic. Often there's a confusion between what is banned, what is not banned, what can be recycled, what is not recyclable, and what goes into recycling, even if it's recyclable. But thankfully, after Joey ji and Dia and all of us got together, Froze was very helpful in co-writing one of those notifications that came out. And being a lawyer, we sat with all those documents of this court, that court, Supreme Court, and whatever the earlier precedents were. And I remember after the 2005 floods, we had a ban on bags below 50 microns. But this time we said, no, let's ban all single-use disposable plastic. But then once we got into that, the minister, Mr. Ramdas Kadam, was so headstrong, and I remember in a couple of our meetings, he used to fire a couple of people saying, why is this not on, why is this? And we started implementing it, but thankfully, because of whatever's happened in the last 10 years, and of course, a lot of awareness through media campaigns and social media and everything. For example, just movies like The Day After Tomorrow, or hearing about ice shelves in Antarctica crashing down. People have taken up as a movement. Planet Earth. It's become more like a movement than a ban, because technically the ban comes into force from 23rd June.
Yeah, but
today you see, if you go to a cafe, you'll get paper straws. Yeah. If you go to some place, it'll be like served paper straws. And I walked into I've put it on Facebook as well. I was campaigning in an interior of, one of our, near Nasik on a highway. And I walked into this cafe and I said, plastic cup aayega. He said, sir, bans are here.
Oh wow!
Which was quite cool, from 100 kilometers from Mumbai, the guy tells you it's banned and please use paper cups.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
In fact, Bajiwala told one of my colleagues that paper nahi padhte ho kya, plastic ban ho gaya hai. I was like, okay, now how do I take this home? Yuri, since you're seeing the whole plastic being the issue, and we are going to be talking a lot more about it, but I want to ask you on a macro level, because India has a lot more pollution to fight, whether it's air pollution or whatever kind of pollution. What is it that you see is going to be a big game changer for us in that sense of getting rid of pollution?
Well, look, I mean, in India's case, the story is that you actually don't have an alternative. So, you know, many people don't associate one with the other, but when the Prime Minister says, you know, waste to wealth, people think it's a pretty phrase, but it actually means a very economic concept of a circular economy. And it's not just about plastic. I mean,
what is circular economy?
It is when you recycle and reuse as much as possible while making the footprint of the economy as small as possible. So you're energy efficient, you recycle metal, plastic, paper, whatever, you pollute less, you discharge less of bad water into the ocean here, you know, on the beaches and beyond the beaches. So,
and you generate income.
And you generate money, and you're right, more and more companies are realizing that you can actually make money from it. I mean, Adidas was on stage today with us in the morning. They're now producing shoes from shredded plastic, textiles from shredded plastic, you know, paper cups that you're using 1,000 kilometers away from Bombay need to be recycled to make more plastic cups. And so it has to be a 90% circular economy for this planet to be sustainable. And at this point, even I mean, I don't know what's the latest number in Norway, in your country, but even in countries that are very developed, it's still between 9 and 15%, you know, circular economy. But India, you know, doesn't have the luxury to have an alternative because while the country is humongous, so is the population.
Yeah, the density, the consumption is high.
And yes, and you don't have as many riches as, you know, a Canada has, or, you know, a Brazil or another country. So you need to be very smart about how you develop. And because if today, you know, an Indian or India wants to reach the quality of life of California, the planet will just implode. Right? So you need to find other ways how to achieve the same.
So here's a question in my mind. You need depots because everybody has plastic, but they don't know where to give it to recycle.
What's the number?
So there's
we're
going to give away a number
5 minutes to
which will make you give the plastic away in the right places because newspapers and papers that come into your house, we know Rati wala hota hai. In fact, I find it funny
that the number is 1800-222-357.
So if you're from Mumbai, call
1800-222-357.
357. Get people to come and collect all your plastics.
Yes, or deposit it with a small amount.
But sorry, go for it. I like to stress on finer points. You know, we talk about the larger picture. Say, for example, you take a paper cup. It's lined with plastic. So what you see in the market is actually not a paper cup. So you ask yourself, is it a good alternative? But at least the plastic reusable was recycled. If somebody chose wisely to do it, which is a cup which has a plastic lining can't even be recycled. You can't tear it off. You know? So that's the crucial question all of us will be.
Which is obviously use your own cup.
Yeah, use your own cup. That's exactly.
One second. आपके घर में बथेरे लोग बैठे हुए हैं. How are you giving them that?
I ate
yesterday on a plate which I washed.
One we give reusable, then I use leaves. In India we have a culture of plates from leaves.
It's called parampara. So many amazing.
So I've got plates with leaves at my home when we have a lot of crowds, we use that.
As you said, you know, about the circular economy, what is also happening in Mumbai is we have about 30,000 workforce of people who clean Mumbai day and night.
Right.
You have also ragpickers who are now Swachhata ambassadors. And when he says, you know, there is value to waste, obviously when, say, a company like, say, Coca-Cola who's partnering with us, or Bisleri from 5th June is partnering with us and collecting that waste, they're not collecting it for free. The guys who are actually picking it up from the waste and giving it to them, they will be paid more than they're being paid now. So it's value from top to bottom. And another part of depots is, of course, the BMC has announced a couple of places like this helpline and a couple of places across Mumbai where you can collect your household plastic. Plus Coca-Cola, Bisleri and other big corporates are coming up. One of the most important things is all this recycled waste will go back into something else. For example, Adidas is making t-shirts or shoes. So if you're using something like a plastic bottle, make sure you're giving it back to recycle. So one of our personal efforts where Afroz is helping, Dia is helping is we're speaking to the big hoteliers, all the Restaurants Association, the NRAI, he's been very kind enough to bring all of them on board. If they're using bulk bottles, for example, say 20,000 bottles a month, or like hotels where you have no alternatives, we're making sure that they give at least 90% of those bottles back to the vendor that they've taken it from. So that goes back into upcycling or recycling. And
that's where he's...
I'll tell you to add on to what Aditya is saying. See, there's one section in this PET bottle that you recycle. There's a very deep, dark section of what I call multi-layer packaging. And which you will encounter the chip packets, the shampoo. You know what they do? The garbage picker or the waste to guys who are running that mechanism are commercial in that sense. They say this packaging we don't want. They call it kachra themselves.
Yeah, because
so
they can't
kachra,
use it.
you know, as I speak to you, I have 1,200 kgs from a population of 40,000 accumulated. Me and my volunteers have collected it. I call the Plastic Association saying, God damn it, take it, recycle it. They said, we can't do that.
Oh.
Can you believe?
Because
so
there's aluminium,
yeah.
there's plastic, there's paper, there's 3 levels.
So what we are doing now, Erik will be surprised. So what is the option? So we catch hold of a pyrolysis unit in Pune. Megha is running there. So I went visited a factory. I said, all this packaging will go there, eventually get turned into some form of energy, maybe diesel, petrol, and then get back. So this is a larger issue which the law, the policy, the regulation, and the consumer will have to answer. One set of plastic.
The industry as well.
Yeah, industry as well. We go properly handle. One set doesn't get handled. So even if you want to do waste to wealth, there is the technology, and who has the money, and when will we walk that talk, or when we will put the money where I want.
But this is where the lawyers come in. This is where the lawyers come in, and the politicians, because you need to make it expensive enough for it to be profitable for companies to actually take
Which
it
I
up.
saw in Norway.
And
I must share with Erik.
So
You know, I was in Norway. There's a company called Dragon Cell. They took me there, and I was fascinated. They have what you call a quick pro approach, a carrot and stick. So what they do is they put an environmental tax, and then they have EPR for this multi-packaging. So
tell people what EPR is.
Yeah, it's extended producer responsibility. In one line, say for example, you throw a chocolate wrapper on the floor. The company who produced that chocolate has to come and pick it up. That's the law of the land, not only in India, all over. Now what they did was the EPR is not being implemented, they don't come forward, then it's multi-packaging, it can't be recycled, the rag pickers can't be. Then the Norwegians did that beautifully, I saw it in the country, I visited multi. They imposed an environment tax and they just regulated it, the government, they just regulated it. And they said, if you do EPR and circular, we'll get your tax to 0. So there lie the incentive. And they smartly worked it out. The commercial man in the industry, they said, no, we'll not pay from our pocket. We'll charge the consumer. So if a chocolate costs 1 rupee, they said 1 rupee, 10 paise. So that 10 paise was used to recycle. That's what is actually needed in our country, I think. In a big way. I think there can be a big help when this EPR thing is finally implemented in that way.
Okay, we have question coming up. Kia, tell me.
Sure. So there's a question coming in from Twitter now from Priyanka Sachar. Beat plastic pollution. The most difficult thing is changing people's mindsets. How do we inspire people to go slow on plastic? Are there any DIY techniques to recycle plastic on an individual level?
Not that I'm even half as acclaimed as these people, but I want to answer that. Imagine a plastic bag theli le lijiye aur apne aap ko cover kar dijiye and you can't breathe. That's exactly what's happening to our earth. It's getting absolutely suffocated in that plastic. Would that answer the question there?
Yeah.
There's more.
What's your DIY?
Well, I guess to buy stuff that retains like longer, like your glass bottles. I love the fact that these days milkshake companies are actually giving you that stuff.
That's a double-edged sword because our glass bottles can be broken. They can be broken and they become single-use. So the basis of the entire argument here, or what we're trying to do, is we have to be responsible for our own actions, and our carbon footprint has to come down.
Okay.
We can use a lot of things, but till we are not responsible about our own waste management, about what we are doing with it.
So there's a simple thing that I use with children. Everything you use and throw, think of where it's coming from and where it's going to go.
Absolutely.
And the moment you start doing that, you start finding ways to say no to things you don't actually need, and you start finding ways to dispose of what you've used. So one of the biggest challenges we've been facing in India, Erik, is to get citizens to segregate their wet and dry waste. It's a very simple process of segregation. Wet kitchen waste in one bin and all dry waste, which is metal, glass, packaging, everything in one. So more people need to understand that one of the ways we can beat plastic pollution is to start at home by segregating our waste. That in itself will be a huge achievement.
And there's a success story in that. Till about 2016, September, Mumbai's waste collection by the BMC was 10,000 metric tons a day.
Okay.
After the compulsory segregation came in for wet and solid waste management.
And there are many people still to do it.
Yeah, there's probably half the city doing it, half the city not yet doing it. But we don't pick up garbage where it's not done. And there's a lot of manure being produced within societies. They're selling it off as compost and everything like that. So that's again another economy running parallel. But because of the segregation that has come in, Mumbai's waste collection has come down from 10,000 metric tons to 6,000 metric tons a day. which is huge.
That's huge.
And still a lot many societies are yet to get into this. But we had an exhibition of all these machines that are into composting and things like that, and it was technology neutral. So you can come, choose your machine, choose your cost, choose your price band, and take it home.
One thing I liked today was we gave away cloth bags at Versova Beach, which means that is also a very, very big message we're giving away.
Yeah, there was no flex, no vinyl used.
No.
Everything was
Yeah.
in sand.
So we actually achieved to do an event without plastics, and I'm from the entertainment industry, and I hold my ears in embarrassment and shame that unfortunately I know that my industry uses a lot of energy that is not friendly to the environment. And I really hope, Aditya, we can work together now and continue to inspire even people in the entertainment industry to reduce their plastic consumption.
And politics.
Yes. Of course. We need to celebrate our festivals better. We need to celebrate occasions in life in a more
No, and it's very important that we spread this message without any frontiers.
yeah.
So it has to be every section of the society coming in. And I'm so glad that UN is here because as a child I've done Model United Nations and we had the Security Council and the Historic Security Council. But I think it's time for us to also have the UNEP as a part of the MUN where people are actually discussing environment issues. You know, I think that would be a great addition to every month that happens around the world, be it The Hague or Singapore or wherever.
But I must share, Aditya, Erik was the first one actually who held back and far off from Nairobi. You know, I was cleaning, it was almost a year, and on Twitter, Erik messaged me, he said, I want to come and clean. First he asked me, what are you doing? He said, you need these leaders like this, who say, if you are on the field, I'm on the field, the sleeves are rolled up. What it does is two things. See, people think beach cleaning is about cleaning beaches. No. It's about changing people's heart and mind. And when a leader like Erik comes on or Aditya comes on the field, it sends a wider message that they are here now to support people making changes in their choices. The choices which are harming the environment must be cast aside and the choices which favor the environment must be taken on board. So when Erik came, he was the first world leader to come on at my beach. I mean, I never used to be on social media or whatever. When I just put it on and he came on, he was just taking over as leader chief. And I loved him for that. You won't believe, Aditya, I had the hugest respect for him because of the simple reason he saw me from Nairobi and he said, look at this boy, he's working hard, he wants to come and be with you on the floor. What a lovely feeling to have it. You need leaders like this who say, come on, you're working hard, I'll come, I'll share my thoughts with you.
We have a question coming in right now. Kia, what is the question?
This is actually the last question we have time for. So from Twilight Fairy, how can us individuals contribute to the UN's focus on India in 3 concrete ways?
I think, Erik, you should answer this. How should the people of India contribute towards UN to make the change?
How is an individual, right? Yeah, what can an individual
What can an individual do to beat plastic pollution?
They can avoid all the plastics we don't need. I mean, there is no need for straws, there's no need for plastic bags, there's any other alternative. There's no need to go to a supermarket and buy 2 apples and they're wrapped in any amount of plastic. So that's one, avoid what we don't need. And then send a clear message to politicians and business. We need to change. I mean, change will happen, yes, from people on the beach cleaning up, that's fantastic, but that's also send a message to society, and at the end of the day, the final change will come from business being a lot more innovative. This is a very conservative, old-fashioned industry, which is just pushing out more and more plastic. We are living in the age of artificial intelligence, big data, fantastic achievement in basically every field. I mean, look to this mobile phone. 10 years back, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
Now it's everywhere. I mean, basically every single individual on planet Earth has a mobile phone. So, of course, they can be a lot more innovative, make products which are recyclable or we degenerate out in nature. But that pressure must come from consumers and from people doing beach cleanup or from governments regulating markets. And to end with that optimistic story, remind yourself, 14 years back, we were allowed to smoke in every restaurant on planet Earth. Today it's very difficult to find any restaurant anywhere we're allowed to smoke. So that had complete the entire planet has changed in such a short period of time. I'm convinced we'll see the similar change when we beat plastic pollution.
Oh, that's so positive. That is so positive. I think before we leave, because I want to leave on that very very positive note. I just want to see the positive change. Aditya, one positive change that you want to share because United Nations has chosen India, that you see in India today.
About plastic?
Yeah.
I think I saw it 2-3 days ago and I've tweeted about it. Walking to a cafe in the interiors of the state and he says plastic is banned, I have paper cups and paper straw. What more?
Nasik.
That's exactly.
I think when a poor man in his hut who's struggling to get his 2 meals right, he says, I want to segregate waste. I think that's it. It does it for me. You know, a person who sells small, tiny things outside a school tells me, said, I will take care of my environment. That type of does.
Oh, that is
It
something.
breaks your heart saying that he has nothing to offer, but he's making his effort for the planet.
For me as well, in very similar lines, when I see kids actually cycling to places as opposed to being driven by their drivers in cars and stuff, that is a great sign. Eric, any positive thing that you've seen in India now that you're here? And you've come here 2 times, right?
There is so much positive thing. It's a positive of the place. India's taking the lead and inspiring the rest, but think of the fact that the central board of the university just sent a message to all the universities of India, please avoid one-use plastic.
Yeah.
And then students get used to no plastic in university.
Yeah.
Well, they will go out in society and tell everyone else, why is there a lot of plastic here? We can do it in the university without it, and you can also do it without it. So that's just one message, but there are so many good messages.
Absolutely. Dia, you spoke about your nephews. Anybody else?
I'm just really, really happy that so many more people are becoming participants of change.
Yeah.
And citizens are going out there and expressing themselves and being
You know the beach cleanups after Versova, the Juhu, the Mahim, the Dadar.
All my 4 brothers were there today. I called them Archana,
It's incredible.
brother from another mother, so all were there.
And I really believe that we have children, we are basically, there are children in India right now who are not going to leave a better planet but have become better citizens of a planet. That will obviously ensure that we restore the health of the planet.
Absolutely. And Yuri, any positive change you see around you?
Absolutely. Look, I'm still trying to find alliances in India to launch a campaign on Jugaad 2.0. I think this is the most undervalued commodity in India because India's ability to innovate and to look at things completely differently. No, it's true. You should be proud of your ability to innovate and to make things out of nothing because you think differently and because it has a negative connotation in Hindi, certainly, maybe in other languages in India as well. People somehow are almost ashamed of this quality. But to me, as an outsider, I'm absolutely fascinated by this capability of Indians to innovate.
Won't we come back right here on Twitter Blue Room with Jugaad 2.0? On that note, thank you everybody. Happy World Environment Day. Jitna ho sake plastic kam kijiye and inspire others, especially your kids. Thank you Twitter for having us. Thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.